Oh, and I have an idea for another show. Maybe we can throw it out there. You tell me when we are on.
Hello, guys. Welcome.
Are we live? Are we there?
Yes, we are on.
It's been a
It's
it's been
7
a little bit.
p.m. for me.
Hey, what's up, Duz? ACM. Who else is in here? Decay. Aaron. And ACM. ACM. Anyway. So what's up, Cherno bro? Like I said, it's been a little bit.
It has. It has. I've just been. I don't know. I haven't been working.
At
I
all?
haven't been working. So
Not
I've
at
been
all?
just pretty much concentrating on my Were Robots channel. So it's I don't know. It's kind of been growing and like it's been insane. Like I got over 400 subs in like a month, less than a month, and it's just like I don't know. It's growing.
I saw that. I saw
It's
that.
growing pretty quick, and I don't know. I'm learning so much, and I'm kind of working on a little bit more of my editing skills, and I'm kind of like little getting there. So I kind of took advantage of me not working, and just kind of focused on that. And obviously that helped me so that I can learn things for this channel as well. So hopefully from now on, um, our editing and stuff is gonna be a little bit better. So we'll be able to have better quality for the guys. So yeah, that's basically what I was focusing on, just learning more.
Learning more. I saw you guys were
What have you
doing
been
that
up to,
whole.
pretty gal?
Oh look, we someone popped in. Someone that we know. Um, I have
Oh, I
been
can't hear
super.
you. We can't hear you.
Really? You can't hear me. You can't hear me on the stream.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me anymore.
Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's weird. Was I coming through on the podcast?
I don't know, but I couldn't. I don't think so. I couldn't hear anything. I don't know. Well, we can hear you now.
Did it actually start on your end? Because mine says it's. Or maybe I'm in the wrong one.
Yeah, it started.
Mine didn't start.
Yeah, it was stuck for me for a bit, and then I closed it and I opened it back up, and we're on. So just close it and reopen it.
Because mine says it's. Oh, maybe there it goes. Ta-da! We are back on. All right, I can see that it's live now. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that! I didn't realize there's all those. Let me pull it over. It looks all fancy and stuff now. That's crazy.
We're
I can see
getting
like
there. We're getting
the
there.
Chono Productions and that nice mic up there. Ooh, and it did something. It was all flashy and fancy. That'd be cool to have that mic though,
Right?
right? If nothing else, it looks good on camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have not been working at all. Are you going back to work? Is that going to happen at some
I'm
point?
finally going back tomorrow, but I hadn't worked for 3 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
this unfortunate season break that we took, the unplanned one, was like all of my fault.
not necessarily, but I mean, we both kind of. But
All,
what's
all
going on with you? What's been going on with you?
well, it was all like caused by everything around me, right? So what happened is uh my wife was having a problem with her jaw, and it's been going on like for a long time. She was having a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pain in one of her teeth.
Oh well.
And what happened was is it started to get really bad, and so she went into the dentist. She made an appointment, and when she went into the dentist, they're like, oh well, there's something going on there. You need to you should go to like the emergency room if it's hurting that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm still not driving. I'm like not very mobile yet,
Mm-hmm.
but my daughter was able to take her, and they went to the emergency room, and the people there are like, "Oh, you have to see." So they went. They had a doctor's appointment early in the morning, and then they went to the emergency room right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And right when they got to the emergency room, they're like, "You need to go see a specialist in the hospital, like right away."
Well.
And so they decide to ambulance her up to a hospital that had a surgeon that could work on her uh, and what do they call it, an orthodontic surgeon, right? Someone
Mm-hmm.
who can do surgery on your jaw.
Right.
And so they ended up transferring her late that night, and then we went back up the next morning and they talked with her, and they said, well, you have to have surgery like right away
Well.
because you have an infection in your jaw. And I guess because it's like priority, depending on if like someone else is going to die if they don't take care of them,
Mm-hmm.
those people have to go first. And so her surgery got pushed back like 2 or 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was like supposed to be that it was supposed to be that first day, and then it wasn't, and then it was supposed to be the second day, and it wasn't. It was supposed to be the third day, and it wasn't. And they finally got around to taking a look at what was going wrong, and they ended up having to like get that tooth out and cut away part of the bone there that had an infection, and some of the tissue there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so she ended up being in the hospital. Geez, it was like over a week. It was
Wow.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days, something like that, in the
Wow.
hospital. Well, like 3 days were just waiting, right? And then the other time was for the surgery, and then the recovery. Because, like I said, they took a tooth, and then part of the jaw, and then some of the tissue that was infected also.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's been nuts. And then of course they sent her home after that, but you can't do anything physical for quite a while
Right.
because they don't want to cause any problems with the healing.
Right.
And they gave her some of the good medication,
Mm.
which
Some of the fun
right,
medication.
some of the good medication that I wish I could have some. I, but anyway, and so they gave her a whole bunch of antibiotics. Oh, I forgot. So while she was in the hospital, after they cut out the initial infection,
Mm-hmm.
She got a different bacteria, and she got another infection while she was in the hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why she was in like another, I don't know, 9 days after the surgery, because they had to get rid of that other infection that she got there in the
Oh.
in the hospital. Anyway, so they sent her home, and we kept her here. I don't know. She's been here almost another week now, a week and a
Mm-hmm.
half. Yeah, it's been like another week and a half, and they're finally letting her do stuff and move around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So things are kind of getting back to normal, and so the podcast is back.
We are back. But
Woo.
she's getting better, right? So I mean that's what matters, right? She's doing better now.
Yeah, yeah,
She's recuperating.
yeah, yeah. She's doing a lot better. It just takes a while, especially when they cut bits out, and then you gotta let everything heal up, and then she's gonna have to go back and figure out what they're gonna do, if they can put another tooth in, or if too much of it's gone now, or what's gonna happen. But they won't know, I guess, until everything heals up completely.
Right.
So just waiting on that at that point. Thank you, Does. Yeah, it's it was crazy. It's nuts that like you can get like an infection in your jaw from that. It just from every day, right?
That
So
sucks.
she's on antibiotics for like a month. She has to do a month worth of antibiotics to
Wow.
make sure it's all gone, which is also, it's like a ton, right?
That's a long time.
Yeah, so whatever it was, 11, 12 days in the hospital, and then a month on antibiotics, and they gave
Mm-hmm.
her like 3 weeks of rest, I guess, altogether. So
Mm-hmm.
one directly after the hospital, and then she went back in and saw somebody, and then they said, so 2 more weeks and everything should be good. So we're almost there. We are getting there. It's been crazy, right?
Yeah, I bet. I bet it's been really hard.
It was, but it's good. It's a good thing my daughter got her license. Like, just
Just in
it's
time,
so good that
basically.
she had her license. Like, drive me here, drive me there.
Yeah.
Or whenever she needed meds. Like she hasn't been really going out at all until just recently. But but picking up the medications and taking her to like checkups and stuff, it was good that my daughter's driving. So that's what's been going on with me, and that's why we haven't. Thank you, ACM. That's that was my reason for not being able to podcast for a few weeks. I was trying to like cook and stuff at the house, but I'm pretty useless too, I guess. I mean, I'm getting better, but it's still hard to do stuff. I can almost close my hands now. Look,
You,
can you see
you
it?
can almost put
There,
your hand.
look.
Oh
You can see
yes, that's good.
the light
But
through there.
it's slow progress, so that's good. You're gradually getting better, and
Yeah, because
everything
I was
happens
stuck.
for a
I
reason.
was stuck like this before. Remember?
Yeah.
Like I could barely grab like a water bottle, and now I'm like so close to closing my hand.
You can almost form a fist.
Almost, right?
You can almost punch someone.
I think if I hit someone with my hand right now, it would probably kill me. I would punch somebody and then I would just die. It would be horrible. It would be horrible. And oh, what a great segue. Speaking of dying, what are we talking about today?
Dun 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 dun. People that have been killed by certain people.
Can you
Do
be a little more vague, please?
do you know what a serial killer is, or what does that mean? Do you know the definition of a serial killer?
Do I know the definition of a serial
Yeah,
killer?
do you know?
Well, I do, but the funny part is it changes depending on what country you're in. They
Really?
like different countries have different definitions of what a serial killer is.
Huh. Interesting.
But generally speaking, a serial killer is somebody that kills more than two people, and some places it's more than three people. So
Okay.
it has to be more than that,
Uh-huh.
and there has to be a period of time in between when they kill the first person and when they kill the second person, or
Mm-hmm.
and then the third person. So like if someone like decides to run through three people over in their car,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not a serial killing because they kill all three at the same time. But if you run one person over Monday and run one person over Saturday, and then you wait a month and run the third person over, then you become like a serial killer
Oh yeah, because you're killing different people in the same way but at different times.
at different times, right?
Interesting.
So like if you kill two people together at one point and
Mm-hmm.
then you don't kill anybody else, you don't count. But then if you wait a while and then you go and you kill somebody else after the two people, then you
Mm-hmm.
become a serial killer by definition in most countries.
Interesting.
Who is that? Voice of the what? Of
Oh,
the
Mr.
dub.
Pogs.
Is that Pog? Really?
Yeah.
What?
Voice of the
Oh,
dub.
yeah, I can see the moist symbol. Yeah, I see it now. Hey,
Ch-
Poggy, what's up?
Chona never responded back to me about what, Mr. ACM. Welcome, welcome. Not necessarily the same way, but yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
so that's the definition, right? You have to kill multiple people. Most of the time it's at least two, and sometimes it's a minimum of three. And then once you when you do it, you do have to spread them out.
Interesting.
Is that what you found out? Did I get it right?
It's basically what I had seen.
Basically.
Basically.
So what country do you think has the most serial killers?
I want to say either Mexico or Colombia.
Mexico or Colombia? Why
Just
Mexico or Colombia?
because of all the um what do you call it? All of the how would you even say it in English? Like, I don't know, all the
Say it in
uh
Spanish.
um with like the like drug dealing and stuff.
Oh, like cartels and like all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't count as serial killers though, right? Unless they do it,
What?
unless it's the same guy in
Yeah.
different times.
Sicarios, that's what they do. Sicarios, they just get told you go to kill that person and
I don't
just go
know.
do it. I don't know.
Oh, ACM says Argentina.
Argentina?
Oh, I wonder why Argentina. Is Argentina even on the list? Wait, let me look. Sorry, ACM. Argentina didn't even make like the top 15.
So it's not even top 15?
Not in the top 13 at least. That I have on the list right here. So there's also a problem with the list a little bit because not everyone agrees on the definition of serial killer,
Uh-huh.
right? Because some say you like two count, and some say it has to be three. So countries that count two will have more, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Also, a lot of countries they don't do really great reporting as far as serial killers. Like
Right.
they don't want to sensationalize it. So a lot of the serial killings, what we would call a serial killer, they don't get reported,
Wow.
right? As being a serial killer. And then also, if you don't catch the serial killer, then
It
you
doesn't
don't
count.
know, right?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
you just have a bunch of people that are dead, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You're like, oh well, 15 people died in this area over the last 3 years, but we don't know why. So
Right.
you can't say it was like one guy or it was like 15 different people. You know, it's
Right.
just like a like what about like Chicago, right? There's like people getting shot there like every day.
Yeah.
But if they don't catch the people who do it, you can't say, oh, there's a serial killer killing all these people, shooting all these people. Well, you don't know. But guess what country has really great police detectives and really good reporting?
Cool.
The United States. USA.
But are
USA.
we in the top, like top though, or
Okay. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna mix up the numbers. I'll give you five. I'll give you five
five?
different ones. Yes,
Okay.
out of the top 13, right? And you're gonna guess which ones are ranked higher than other ones.
Which ones are ranked higher than others?
Yes, right. So
Okay.
I'll give you the top five mixed up in order, and you tell me who was number one, number two, number three, number four, and number five.
Okay.
Okay, so on the list we have Japan.
Okay.
We have India. We have the United States.
Okay.
We have England or the UK. So I guess we have to include all of the UK and Russia.
Japan, England, US, Russia,
India.
India.
Yes.
Five
So
being having the
who
least.
yes, the least number.
Okay. Five. You said Japan, Russia, India, US, and who else? Japan,
India.
India, Russia.
India.
Oh,
Yes.
England, England. Okay.
England, yes.
I say the least would be Japan. Number five,
We
Japan.
need a buzzer noise. Bzz. Wrong.
Japan number five.
No.
Blah, 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 blah. India number
Number
four.
five. Wait. I'm gonna tell you who number five is, and then you can guess.
India.
And you can keep going from there. So number five for the reported number of serial killers is India.
India. Okay.
Okay. So who is number four out of that group? You have Japan, Russia,
Japan.
the UK or the United Kingdom, and the United States left.
Japan.
Ding ding ding. We need a ding 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 noise. Japan was fourth with 138 reported serial killers.
Oh. Okay. What the? Oh, not 100. Oh my. Okay. Wow. 138. Okay.
138. Yes.
Okay.
So who is number three? You have Russia, the UK, and the United States left.
Russia.
Yes, you are correct. Russia had 164 serial killers.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, so you have the United States and the United Kingdom left.
The US.
Wrong. Bzzz. Buzzer noise
Okay.
again. Oh, I so need a buzzer noise. The United Kingdom was second with 196.
Okay.
So that means number one, first place, unfortunately, goes to us, the United States, right?
In the US, yeah.
ACM was wrong on all of them. So we're gonna guess one more thing. The United Kingdom had 196
Hmm.
serial killers reported, right? I believe this goes from like the 1900s, right, till now.
The 1900s to know.
Yeah, so like 120 years, right? So
Hmm.
the UK has a little more than one a year that they catch. So the United States, how many serial killers?
I don't know, over 200?
Wrong. 3,690.
What the fudge? The UK has 180 and we have over 3,000?
Yes, the UK has 196 and the USA has 3,690. In fact,
What?
The United States has more than almost the whole rest of the list combined.
Dang.
It's horrible, right?
Yes. What the
Uh,
fudge?
yeah, it's crazy because once again, it's partly because of how everyone classifies what a serial killer is, and
Hmm.
partly because of reporting, right? Like, for example, you probably don't have great reporting in China on how many serial killers there are. You know, it's nothing that they're going to talk a lot about,
Right.
and maybe they're not catching as many of them.
Hmm.
So,
Dang, that
but yeah,
sucks.
we have more than like the rest of the list combined. It's pretty sad. There's a lot. There's a lot of them. So, you have a specific serial killer that you want to talk about? Because I have one that I kind of did a little research on,
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
then I wanted to let the chat know. I also have a list. So if you guys have a specific country that you would like to hear about, I have a list of a bunch of different serial killers by country. So while Chona's talking, if you have a country that you want me to look up, put it in the chat, and I'll pull it up, and I can give you a couple brief synopsis of the serial killers from that country.
Hmm.
Poggy says he bets they were from Ohio. that's, that's not nice, Poggy. That is not nice at all. So who are you going to tell us about? I'm kind of interested. I want to know where you looked for a serial killer,
I
because there are a lot of famous U.S. ones, right? Like, the list is pretty easy, right, for the United States on like the most famous ones.
um
I mean, like Ted Bundy, Dahmer, Manson, John Wayne Gacy.
mhm.
Uh, there's just a ton of them that are pretty easy to name off, right?
Yes.
So
Jack
who are
the
you gonna
Ripper,
tell us about?
yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, Jack the Ripper. Oh, the Zodiac Killer, right? I know you don't get out here, does, but we had an I-5 killer, like the 5 freeway that runs up through California, and
You have a what?
so there's a freeway that kind of runs up the coast,
Uh-huh.
and it goes up through California all the way. I think it goes all the way up into Canada or to Canada.
To Canada?
Yeah, but it goes through California, and there was a serial killer here in California
Right. Uh-huh.
that committed a lot of his crimes right along like where the I-5 goes, the Interstate 5,
Uy, cucuy.
and so they called him the I-5
Mhm.
killer. Does said Manson didn't kill anyone.
Manson never killed anyone.
Who's BTK? Does put it
Who
in
is
chat like
BTK?
twice. I'm gonna Google. So tell me how you decided on what who you would talk about.
Um, I basically searched. I searched like the world's most famous serial killer, and it just automatically popped up for me like a top seven.
Okay.
So that's basically what it is. That's basically what mine is. Number seven is Jack the Ripper
Oh, everyone
from
knows Jack the Ripper, though,
1888,
right?
right? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And I know that supposedly like they didn't know what he looked like there was no pictures or anything of him. But here, give it a few seconds, they're gonna have like they finally came up with this like sketch of his face, so that's basically what he would have looked like, or at least that's what they think.
Oh yeah. I just saw that on the.
Six was
I,
Jeffrey
I, I
Dahmer.
I have the show up. Go ahead.
Oh, you have it up, yeah. Six was Jeffrey Dahmer. In 1978, he started in 1978 when he was 18, from 1978 to 1991. But see, he only killed 17 people, only,
Only
in comparison to the next ones. Ah, and he was killed in jail actually by someone else, by another inmate. Fifth is Harold Shipman. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And it says that it's believed that he killed 250 patients. So he was a doctor in Great
250.
Manchester. Huh?
250.
Yes, that's what they think. That's
Okay.
what's thought. Um, Number four is John Wayne Gacy.
Right.
Um, so I don't know, he was thought like is in 1978. They found 30 bodies, but I think he was convicted for 33. And he was executed with lethal injection in 1994.
Okay.
So interesting there. Number three was Holmes, H. Holmes.
Okay.
Oh, this one's actually Chicago, but I think it happened. I'm not sure if it happened through different places. Which right now, after this, I want to kind of like be able to talk a little bit about them,
Okay.
just to kind of break them down. Because, like, for instance, for his. With his, it says something about a hotel, I think. So it's like a three-story
Oh yeah.
hotel. Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then he had like like gas lines and like secret passages and trapdoors and like hallways to dead ends and like chutes to the basement. And it was like soundproofed, and I don't know, all this kind of like crazy things that you were like, what the fuck? It kind of like makes you think of Saw. Like all of the movies Saw, like all these crazy things.
I bet a lot of those like horror movies are based on some of these serial killers. You know, because that guy came up in my research too, Holmes,
Yeah. And what's
and he
crazy,
was
good, good.
it was just nuts. Like you were saying, it was just nuts because he was like running a hotel, right? But then he basically made it like a death trap, right? So
Uh-huh.
he would like gas people who were at the hotel and then like torture them, or they try to run away and they run down a hallway that doesn't have an exit.
Yeah.
Or then he had like those trap doors that would like drop them into the basement. It
Yeah.
was it was insane. It was a like a big job to get it all done. And did you I didn't read what's on the screen. Did you Did you have on any information on how he got caught?
Yes, so basically, I guess he didn't pay on time or something, and some sort of like I don't know if it was money that he owed or something, but it was basically a scammer who ended up actually turning him in because of that.
Oh,
S-
like when I was reading, I heard it was his partner. It was his partner in like one of the scams or something that he was doing.
Well, yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and his yeah, and his partner didn't get paid. He didn't pay his partner, and his partner like turned him in.
yeah. It was just crazy. And then he was hung. He was hanged in 1896. Wow. That was a long time ago. That's actually a lot of people for I don't know that time. 1896, and they I guess only found 30 bodies. That's crazy. That's crazy. All
So he
right,
was
number
number
2.
3.
That was number
Okay.
3, yeah. Number 2 is Pedro Lopez. Um so they said it's over 300 murders. He's from Colombia, so he's Colombian. He was
Okay.
arrested in 1980.
Oh,
And they
he
actually
looks like somebody I know.
he looks like somebody you know.
Yeah, yeah. He looks a lot like somebody I know.
Uy, cucuy. Yeah. So he was arrested in 1980, and I guess they found graves with like more than 50 like younger girls, like younger persons, younger people.
Okay.
And then so when he was convicted of murdering 110 girls in Ecuador, and he confessed to over 240 murders combined between Colombia and Peru. So he's known as the monster of the Andes, and he wasn't even
Wow.
20 years in prison. So he was released in 1998 for good behavior.
Really? They let him
Yeah,
out?
yep. And then they don't know where he is now. That's crazy. He confessed to over 240 murders, and they let him go 20 years later. When there's people that like, they murder one person and they get like life sentence or they get like 30 years in prison.
Wow. But that's Ecuador, right?
That is insane. That's crazy.
Oh, but okay. So he was in Ecuador, but then he confessed to murders in Colombia and Peru. But I bet you they didn't get a hold of him, right? You know what I mean?
So, yeah, that's crazy.
So he probably
Oh,
went
two
on
hundred and forty
trial.
more. So it was like a total of 350. So it was
Right, right.
110 in Ecuador and 240 between Colombia and Peru. So it was in all three countries.
That's crazy.
That is
That's a
crazy.
lot. That's a lot of people.
It is. Wow. I'm surprised. I don't know. All right. Number one. Number one, Mr. Ted Bundy. Yeah, you guys were just talking about him. So his were mainly college women in Washington, Oregon, Utah, and Colorado.
Okay.
So he was arrested in Colorado for kidnapping, and then he escaped and moved to Florida, and then so I guess he did a couple more killings there. Um, I'm not exactly sure. Does it say when he was? I don't think it says when he was arrested or like how many people he actually killed.
Oh, I think
Um,
I have him on a list. Hold on, I'll pull him up. But go ahead. I'll pull him up right now.
yeah. So and then I guess he didn't have a lawyer either. Like he defended himself. He
Oh
represented
yeah, yeah,
himself.
yeah. I remember that. I remember.
And I think it was like the first televised murder trial, like I guess
Yep.
in the history of the US. That was like televised. And he was executed in the electric chair in 1989.
Yeah, but he was like handsome for the time, right? He was a good looking dude, and he like played it up. He was like a he tried to turn it into like fame, right? And into like some sort of weird sick stardom, right?
Yeah, watch. Let me see if I can get to his picture. He was kind of, yeah, it's crazy.
Right? He wasn't like a creepy, like overly creepy, like, oh, that guy's a serial killer looking dude, right?
Mm-mm. But I don't know. It's just it's crazy.
Um, okay, I have him up.
You have the facts on him.
Yeah. So what were we looking for?
I don't know why I thought he was. I don't know why I thought he was like related to what is that one family? What is that family's name that um I thought it was no, I'm confusing them. I thought it was the Bundy family, but no. And then I think I'm confusing them. There was a family that was like a husband and wife, and I don't know if it was like the son and the daughter, that did like killings too. Like they basically like they would go into a town and they would get like known and stuff, and they would like win people's like trust and stuff, and then they would end up like killing them. I don't
Hmm.
know why I thought he was like the husband or something. And then when I saw this, I'm like, okay, then I think it's confusing him with somebody else.
You're getting your serial killers confused.
Yes, there's too many.
There are a ton. Like I just the list for the United States like has its own websites and everything, right? Just because there's so many of them.
Oh,
It just
I'm confusing him with the Bender family.
the Bender family.
Yes,
They were a
Ma.
serial killing family.
Yes, Ma Bender and Pa Bender
Ma and
and
Pa Bender.
yeah, in Kansas.
Oh, I also looked up BTK like Duz was talking about. And that guy was another American serial killer, right? But he's closer to where Duz lives. I think that's why it why it stuck more in his mind. But they
Mm-hmm.
call him BTK because he gave himself that little acronym for himself. It stood for blind torture kill.
Blind
But it
torture, what?
blind torture kill BTK is what he called himself. But it was like near Wichita, Park City, Kansas, between
Mm-hmm.
1974 and 1991.
Oh wow.
But yeah, he suffocated or strangled people. It looks like. Did you see that most serial killers use a certain what do they call it, operas, modus operandi,
Operandus.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always do like this. They always kill in the same way, right? But
Yeah.
when you were looking, did you find like one certain thing like stood out?
No.
Like were there more stabbings or were there more people who got choked to death or shot
Oh
or
no. No, I didn't look for that.
no poison?
No, I didn't
There's a
look for
lot of
that.
poisoners, right?
Uh-huh. Oh,
Oh,
I'm like, oh.
There's a lot of poisoners. I saw a lot of. It's funny, like a lot of them aren't like gun murderers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more something that's quieter, right? So strangling, poison, knives, that kind of stuff. And then did you see that a lot of them? Well, from what I was looking at, a lot of them. How do you put this? A lot of the serial killers um, tend to like dismember the bodies and like to hide like the pieces,
Yeah.
or they just burn them, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the time they don't just leave them. They do something.
Like what's I forgot his name. There's this guy that was from here too that would like eat them.
That would do what?
He would eat them.
Oh.
Yeah, there's
I was like, what did she say? I wasn't
there's a
laughing about him
series.
eating them. I was just like, I couldn't understand what you were saying.
There's a Netflix series that came out like not too long ago
Huh.
that and he like one of his neighbors went to go visit him or whatever to kind of like find out what was going on.
Right.
And he like made her eat a sandwich. Like I guess he would keep the corpses in his in like a freezer. He would keep them in a freezer and like he would keep the meat there, and I guess he would eat it or something.
Ugh. Poggy says your eyes just glazed over. Yeah, cannibalism's kind of a whole nother thing, right? And most of the serial killers like don't do that. I think that's pretty rare in serial killers, but it's pretty gruesome.
I'm gonna find out his name. I know you know him. I know I forgot. I'm gonna find out. I know you guys know him.
There's a couple. There's a couple that kind of stand out as cannibals, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head. So I was looking through a bunch of stuff while you're looking that up. When I was doing the research on this, it
Dahmer.
was pretty. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name.
But what was his actual name?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey. Yeah. Oi, kukui. Can't have nothing nice in Arizona.
So does anyone in chat want to hear about like a couple of the famous serial killers from your country?
In the country, yes. Wait, Pogs, don't you wanna know information about serial killers in your country? What if one of them lives in your neighborhood?
in your neighborhood?
What if one of them is like your backdoor neighbor?
You know what was funny? While I was looking through, I was kind of going through countries of people that might show up, just to have them like readily available.
Ready to go?
Yeah. And you know who doesn't have a bunch of serial killers?
Who doesn't?
Trinidad
France.
and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago? Damn.
Yeah. Tobago.
But
Tobago.
you know what? You know what makes a lot a difference too is population. Wouldn't you think? Because the less population you have, the less probability you have of having a serial killer.
Still, it's like, yeah, but then wouldn't you say that India and China would be 1 and 2 or 1, 2, 3 with us somehow?
Yes and no, because of like their what do you call it? Like their culture and their laws and all that stuff. I would say kind of makes people hold back a bit more.
Or do you think it's just the
Or they're
reporting
not
that doesn't
caught.
get through?
They're not caught. They get away with it.
Exactly, right? Or they're not caught, or they just don't get reported, right?
Yeah. Imagine an Irish serial
Because what's that?
Huh?
Oh, so when I was looking, I also tried to figure out who like would have had the most, who killed the most people as like a serial killer.
Uh huh.
And there's this guy from India that, if everything's true, he's probably like the number. He probably killed the most people as a serial killer out of everybody else that I looked at. So he would have like showed up before that calculation, because he was like 1760 something to like the early 1800s, right? But his name was Thug Behram. And
Thug.
And you know what the funny thing?
What?
So, not the funny thing, but the weird coincidence in all of this is that he had like a gang, and they were what was it called?
The Thuggers.
Thuggy. He worked for, I guess he worked for a company called Thuggy and the Culty. The Cochi. And anyway, that word thug in the US comes from him.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
How interesting.
Right? But so here's the gruesome part of this guy, right? Of Thug Behram. If they could have proved everything up to, he was involved in 931 murders.
What the fudge?
Right?
But then it makes you think like why wouldn't they be like one of the most famous ones? Like why, or where do they get all this like I don't know, when they consider like who are the top ones or the most like how do they, I don't know, like who decides who are the most famous or who are the like what? Imagine
well, like, so the more recent it's going to be more famous, right? Because more people have heard about it. Because so like right now, if you had a big serial killer that got caught, it would just blow up, right? Because it would be all over social media, all over TV, and it wouldn't just be like TV here, it would be all over the world, right? So that person would instantly be more infamous, right? Like they would be more recognizable. So Bundy being like the first televised one, of course everyone knows Bundy, right?
But there was like that one from 18 something.
Well, that guy made it just because he's like a horror movie all on his own, right? I mean, he really created like he basically turned a hotel into like a murder hotel.
Like a Saw movie.
Right?
It's crazy.
And so that's why he's recognizable, because he was different, right? I mean, it took a lot of work to get to the point where he could kill people.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. Hold that thought. Let me tell you about the Thug guy real quick.
Oh yes,
let me finish up with Thug. So, 931 murders, right? That he was involved in or associated with, and he did it with like they call it a rumal. It's like a handkerchief. But he used it to like strangle people. and there's like a little like a metal disc in the center of like the handkerchief. So like the handkerchief's like this, right?
Uh-huh.
And then right in the center, like there's a metal disc, and he would like sneak up behind him, I guess, and like whip his hand around, and he was able to get that disc and the handkerchief to like go around their neck, and then he would just the disc would put like extra pressure on their neck, right? It would like push against their neck right in the front, and that would help him strangle them.
Yikes.
But yeah, so if they could prove everything, 931, but he eventually, I think, was convicted on, I think was in the 125 confirmed.
And what happened to him?
What happened to him?
Yeah, like
I have no idea because they don't even say. I mean, they caught him.
Oh, but it doesn't talk about the sentence.
It didn't see it. It doesn't say what happened to him. Like if they like let him go, or if they. I'm pretty sure they probably killed him, right?
Probably. Well, I mean, look at that one. The one that confessed to like, I don't know how many there were, like 400, and they let him go 20 years later.
Oh. Okay, so you had a question, and then I want to tell you about somebody else that's like that.
Okay.
You had a question for me, right?
Yes, American Monster said these people aren't normal. Let's be real. Okay, that's kind of like where my question was going. What do you think like goes through these people's minds, or like what do you think makes them like be like this or do it? Because I mean, you would imagine, okay, they do it. Like, do they enjoy it? Like, what do you think like they feel or goes through their mind when they're doing it?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never put myself in the place of a serial killer. All I know is like from like what I've read and what I've researched recently, and from before.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I have no idea what people are thinking about that they could make them do that. You hear a lot of interviews and stuff with them, and they're a lot of them have the same kind of story going on. Oh, I was neglected as a child, or I was mistreated as a child, or I didn't get enough love, or whatever, right? But then there's a lot of people who grow up in that same kind of circumstance, right? And they don't become serial killers,
right? What are they called? The people that don't have a conscience, like when you kill somebody and you don't feel anything, you don't feel any remorse.
Yeah, they don't have any empathy.
But what are they called? They have a name. There's a name for that. It's not a psychopath. Is it a sociopath? I don't know, something. I forgot what they're called. But basically, they don't have any remorse, right? Like they don't. It's like whatever.
Yeah. It's really, it's disturbing, right? It's crazy.
I mean, jeezness. Like when I read the ones 30 people, and you're like, dang, that's a lot of people. And then when you read 100, 200, 300, what the fudge?
Well, this guy says 931, right?
American Monster says now they have wires crossed. Aaron says most would sexually motivate behind their actions. Oh, a sociopath. So they're sociopaths.
So a lot of them do involve some sort of violation of their victims, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So I got one. I got one for you that you may never have heard of before. So there was a lady in Japan. Her name was Miyuki Ishikawa, right?
Miyuki.
And she started off being a uh what do they call it? She was a midwife. She was like trained as a midwife.
What is that?
Someone that helps babies be born.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
So she went to school for that. She became like a professional midwife.
Mm-hmm.
And but she
Oh
got
my
married.
god.
What's that?
Oh my god. I think I know where this is going. Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so she got married and she ended up having a hysterectomy, right? So she could not have any babies.
Mm-hmm.
But her husband had like a child from before,
Mm-hmm.
from a previous marriage, and I think they adopted like 2 more kids.
Uh-huh.
And then she started working at this what do you call it? Like an orphanage, basically. She started working at a place where they would take in like babies and stuff from people that like abandoned them,
Mm-hmm.
or people would like just drop them off there and like run away. And something like snapped in this lady, right? And she started killing like the kids that were there.
Wow.
But she had the help of like one of the doctors that worked there, and she had the help of a of what do they call those guys? The guys that run a crematorium, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had the help of them, right?
What? Uh-huh.
And so they would end up making like fake death certificates showing like the kid just normally died of whatever.
Or they're like born dead or whatever.
Yeah, you know, because like the
Jeez.
parents aren't there. They just like the mom or the dad or whoever just dropped the kid off there and ran away. And so she would take them and she started killing them like babies. And she would like some of them she ended up like taking to that crematorium guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would help like dispose of the bodies. And then they started getting like
Wow.
false death certificate. But all of a sudden it showed up like some guy was like looking at all the death certificates that were being issued,
Mm-hmm.
and he noticed that like this one place had a ton of death certificates issued. So, for example, this was like in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
So in I think she started working there. Yeah, she started working there like in the mid 40s, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1943, they had 8 infants there, right? And they had 0 burial permits.
Wait, what do you mean burial permits?
So no one issued a permit to like bury the body.
Uh-huh.
Right? In 1944, there were 24 on the list and 0 permits, right? In 1945, there were 34 on the list and 1 permit, right? And then it goes up. It goes to like 1946, there was 40 and 24. In 1947, there was 153 permits. Like there's like this giant spike in the number of deaths and permits after she starts working there.
Wow.
Right?
These are all kids.
All babies and like smaller kids.
Jeez,
yeah.
nuts.
And so they investigated, like the police got a hold of the information because whoever found out that, hey, look, why are these kids dying all of a sudden at this place? Like a couple of years ago there were 8, and this year there were 100.
Yeah, there's a huge difference.
Right?
Yeah.
So they started investigating her, and then they ended up finding like ashes like at places where she visited, like, because I guess after you kill 100 kids, you need some place to start dashing stuff. So like they found a bunch of ashes at like a local temple where she would
Wow.
go to, and they ended up finding a bunch in like her house as well,
The
which
heck?
is I that's another thing, right? Serial killers do that a lot. Like they kill somebody and then they keep them at their house.
Yeah.
You know, like whether it's just like bits or like if they bury the body at their house, they end up keeping like the body there, which is weird, right? Anyway, so she ends up getting prosecuted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Along with the other doctor that was there, and I guess the crematorium guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me find the exact number for you because it's crazy. Oh, so she had 2 boys and 1 girl. And then the total number would have been 211.
What the fudge, babies?
Yeah, all babies and like little kids.
That's so sad.
And so get this. This is the crazy part, right? So they took her. They went to court, and she got convicted, but then it got appealed, right? And her and her husband, the 2 main people involved in the killing, got 4 years and 2 years.
What the fuck?
Prison.
That's it?
Yep.
What about the doctor and the other guy?
Those were the only 2 who got sentences. The other guys got like set free.
That's crazy.
And the weird thing about it, besides her being a serial killer and then getting 4 years of prison, is that they argued that the reason why she got let off and the reason why they got let off so easy is because they argued that the kids died there because it was the parents' fault for having the kids and then abandoning them.
Wow.
And so it actually prompted reform in Japan to allow abortions there. It was crazy, right? Like 211.
Wow. I don't know which one is worse. I think this one is worse because it's, kids and babies, but if you kind of balance them off, like the other guy too, that was only given 20 years. Like, right? That's a lot of people for that. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's like completely crazy.
Crazy. American Monster says, I lived with a sociopath for a long time. Ooh. That sounds like an interesting story.
Of course, ACM lived with a psychopath. Nothing. A sociopath, not a psychopath.
Wait, Kukui, what happened?
No, I'm just reading through the chat. Anyway, so this is what I was thinking.
Anywho,
I've had enough talking about mass murders for today, I think, or serial killers for today. But if people are interested and want to know about a specific country or a specific killer, if you send us a message, we will do another show on it.
Yes.
If no one sends us a message, I'm never doing another serial killer show. it was really depressing to research this show out of everything. Like
Yeah,
out of
that's
all the
why.
ones we've done so far, this one was just depressing to like have to read all the articles and like some of the ones that happened a really long time ago are kind of distant enough that you're like it's just a story at that point, so you
Uh-huh.
can't really say, but then you read about something that happened, like 50, 60 years ago, and you're like, wow, that was like not that long ago, like, you know. And this lady, I mean, what was that? In the 40s, so what was that? 80 years ago? That's not that long ago.
Um,
ACM wants to do a chat about crypto.
a crypto cast. Oh, you want to be a guest?
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Muchas gracias,
Hey,
José. Empezamos en español en media hora. Si quieres, si te, eres más que bienvenido para quedarte, o si quieres regresar en media hora empieza la sesión en español. What do you think? That would probably be interesting, huh? You're gonna tell us your story with your roommate or whoever it was.
maybe both.
Your spouse. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a sociopath cryptocurrency show. But yeah, we could do a crypto show, I guess. Oh, okay. So look.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to hear more about serial killers, send us a message. If not, we will never do it again because I'm too sad to do it again.
That's the main reason. Horrible. Yes, that's the main reason why I didn't do a lot of research, and I just did like that little mini presentation of like the first thing that came up because
it's pretty horrible.
It's sad. Like the one you said about the lady from Japan is
yeah, and the fact that like there's a couple in South America where they sentenced one dude. I can't remember who what his name was, but they sentenced him to 1,168 years in prison or something, right?
And they released him for good behavior.
And they released him for good behavior.
No way! Years. A year?
22 years.
What the heck?
But he killed a bunch of people too. Oh, it was so sad. Anyway, stop.
Wow.
Stop. That's enough. That's enough serial killer for today. But
okay.
If people want to hear about it, we will do it. So if anyone sends us a message, leaves it in the comments after it, or any of that, we will do it again.
Wow.
Secondly, if you're interested in ACM's crypto sociopath chat, we can do that. Same rules apply. If we get messages, or if you leave a comment after the video, after the live stream, then we will do that as well. And then I had one other thing that kind of popped up. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about tarot cards?
Yes. Actually, I used to have a set myself. Okay. Well, they were gypsy cards, and but even before that, people, you know how the Mexican cards, like deck of cards, has like the little people with like the different, shapes and stuff, with like the coins, the cups, the what are those things called in English? That like little wood thing.
Wands?
I don't
See?
know. I don't know what they're called, but
What are they used for?
I don't know. I don't know, but it's a Mexican deck of cards, and they have like how instead of, like how the American one has ace and then 2 through 10, and then like jack, queen, and king.
Yes.
So I mean not that they have the Americans ones have like the hearts, the treble, the diamond. I forgot what the other one is, but the Mexican one has like the gold coins. It has the
Okay.
cups.
Yes.
That wood thing that I told that I don't know what you call it, and
They call them wands.
okay, the wands, and then diamonds, right? And so
Swords.
I don't know, but supposedly people use those like to read, to kind of like a tarot reading type of thing too. So since I was like younger, people would ask me like, hey, can you like read them for me? And I'd be like, like I don't know how to do that, but they would bug me so much, and then I would be like, okay, here, like, okay, let me do it, right? And I would pretend like I was doing them, and then whatever I told them would actually end up happening later on.
Really?
Yes, and then
So,
and then
go ahead.
same thing with the gypsy ones. Like I didn't know how to read them, but I started doing that because I don't know. Maybe we should do a whole podcast about that.
That's what I was thinking, and I was thinking we could get some tarot cards, and then we could like read each other's fortunes.
No, I know. I would not do that again. No.
No.
It's bad.
But you asked like a specific question about something.
No.
Like, oh,
No.
come on! You don't want to read your.
I had you can read them, like you can read mine, but I had really bad experiences with that, like things that happen to people when that I couldn't do anything to prevent it, and it
Yeah,
came
but
out
you're not
in
causing it.
huh.
You're not causing the problem.
Right, but I was able to see what was gonna happen, and I couldn't do anything about it, which is one of the reasons why I don't watch the news, because to me it's bad news, it's negative stuff, it's depressing. I can't do anything about it. So why know about it if I can't do anything to change it or to prevent it?
What's up, Amphibious? Yeah, she's getting excited, and that's why she's overmodulated, because she's like eating the microphone, yelling at me.
It's because first they couldn't hear me, and now something happened, and it's like extra loud now. Remember, it was like really low, and now out of
Yeah,
nowhere, it's
but now you're like super excited too, because
super loud.
you're like leaning at the camera, yelling at me.
No, let me see. I think I found out what it is.
Okay. ACM says he stays away from the dark side, and he also made me laugh because he talked about the rabbit hole of going down crypto and talking about it. But it would be interesting. We
Yes,
can
we should.
we can structure it to make it not just you
Yeah, we should do one.
going down the rabbit hole. But anyway, yes, tarot cards. We should do it. You can at least talk about the stories, and
Yes.
then and then maybe I'll read your future. How about that? Maybe I'll get a deck of tarot cards now, and you can ask me about something, and we can see if I can read the future.
Okay.
Right? Or we can have a guest on.
You can read it, and I can share my experiences.
Okay, we'll do that. That sounds like fun. Amphibious said you put a lot of energy into it.
No, I don't know what happened. I was messing with all these things, and I guess somehow I got it to work, but I overdid it.
It's fine. It's fine. It just shows you're excited.
Yes.
Anywho, it's about time to end our
Yes, guys.
comeback episode, I guess. Any before we go, anybody have any questions or anything? Maybe? No.
We should talk about B.
Yeah. No. No, that fortunately is not going to happen. Yeah, I think I'm done with serial killers for a while, for a
Okay.
long while. I hope. Anywho, so we will be back in a week. You said you're going back to work, right?
Yes. I go back to work tomorrow. So our streaming days are gonna go back to kind of being random days. Just because it's
Random
really
day of
gonna
stream.
depend on my days off. Huh?
Random day of stream. So everyone turn on your
Yes.
notifications.
Yes, please.
If not, you'll never know.
Stories from the road. Yes, actually, those would be good ones too, Aaron. Good stuff, Chona. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it, Amphibious. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you.
He gave like the weird little flat smile though to me. He said
What flat
room
smile?
flat smile, mostly quiet.
No, it's a it's a
It's the flat smile. He gave me the meh
no, he has his little hand
emoji.
on his head.
Hand on what?
On his head, look.
Uh,
Look at your
it's
screen.
weird. Yeah, I see it. I'm looking.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know what like 99% of those emojis mean. Oh yeah. I see it now. I understand. Weird.
Hola mi alma, bienvenido.
So sometime next week,
Yes.
whenever you get a day off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What's coming up next? Actually,
You're asking the wrong person.
I think we're like getting close to the end of the season, huh?
Are we really?
We only have 3 left. We have we only have 3 left. And one of them is the food never made it to Mexico.
Not yet.
Maybe
Although I am
should,
like I
maybe,
am like super mobile now, which is actually good. I'm walking around a lot more.
I was gonna say maybe at least you and I should do it. What do you think? Hi,
we can.
welcome.
Oh, okay. Look at this. So we have changes coming up, right?
Yes.
But we still have to make sure you can get your person on. But we can't do that if we don't know what day you're going to be on, right?
No, we need one for the English. Glad they got their act together and you're going back to work. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Do you have somebody who can show up the day you know?
For Spanish, yes.
Okay.
But for English is the hard part.
I have I told Bringer about it and he seemed available, but I don't know if he's next day available. So we'll find out.
Yes.
If not, we can always do aliens.
Yes.
And we can always do the tarot card episode.
Oh,
we can insert that.
Yes.
And that would still give us to 10 for the season.
Yes. And then it's break time again. No.
And then we have a crypto episode in on the books now, right? If not this season, then early next season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will work on doing changes next week. If not, we will do a tarot episode. I guess I have to go buy tarot cards.
Ooh. Yes, okay.
Okay, so next week, either changes part 2 or our first and maybe last tarot card episode.
I mean, I don't know because that could lead into a lot of things, right? So
we'll see. We will see. All right, Chona. Well, thank you very much. Thank you everyone who was in chat. I'm glad all you guys were here again. Oh, I didn't even see Cuddly show up. Look, I just saw it right now.
Yes, Cuddly and Amphibious.
Right? And anyway, thank you everybody for showing up, and we will see you at a random time next week, right?
Yes, guys. I'll
And
be
then
posting
I'll
something
give
up
you
to
I'll give
remind
you
you
a little
guys.
Asian heart too, right?
We'll see you guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for all of your continued support. And we will see you guys in the next one. Let us know in the comments after the stream what else you guys want to see, what do you guys want us to bring back, your favorite part about today's podcast. And just thank you guys. We really appreciate you guys. Let us know what you guys think about all the updates on the channel. If you guys like it or if you guys have any ideas for us, we're open to constructive criticism. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, everyone. See you later, Chono Bro.
Take care.